Welcome to Homestand NBA at the Homestand Studios. I'm your host, Noor Zainab, next to the J Unit, Jelani Goodridge-Reid, and Justin Pooni. And today's rundown is a little bit spicy because there's finally some solid reports coming out from the trade deadline about the Raptors. And we all know the Raptors have pretty much headlined the trade deadline this year. One of them being Jakob Poeltl and Gary Trent, the other one being OG Anunoby. So we're going to start off with Jakob Poeltl and Gary Trent. There's been rumors right now that Raptors have made multiple offers to San Antonio, and one of them involving a three-team trade that could see Gary Trent and Poeltl having some sort of a swap happening there. Or they could maybe let Gary Trent go to a third team and use those assets to bring in Poeltl, depending on what San Antonio wants, because I believe they're looking for at least two or one, I want to say, first round pick. Yeah, but in Masai's tenure, he's never given up more than one first round pick. So it's a lot to ask for a guy who doesn't want to give up not much. He loves his young guys. He loves going in the draft. That's who Masai is. And if you're smart, that's what you're going to do too. So guys, how are you feeling about this latest report? Gary Trent for Jakob Poeltl. You're giving up shooting for some rim protection, right? That's what it is.
We talked about it yesterday when we first heard it. It doesn't move the needle whatsoever. You're basically, the way I see it is you're getting an expiring contract for an expiring contract, was what they did to get Gary Trent Jr. here a couple of years ago. Yeah. So to me, I get it. I get the Raptors fans, and they have this hold on Jakob Poeltl. They want to see him back because the center position's not their strong suit.
Drafted him.
And you drafted him, but let's be realistic here. Like, what does this do? This doesn't do anything for nothing.
Well, it helps the position of need, right?
For right now.
Yeah, right now. Okay, if you want to stay afloat for the rest of the year, but understanding that point that you brought up, expiring deal. So you're gonna trade, and the thing personally, I find it's a bit much. 2 picks. I know the picks might go to the third team, but I'm just saying in general, for a guy that you're probably gonna get for 30 plus games. And
it's no guarantee he's going to resign. There's no guarantee.
That's the one thing. But I think Poeltl could help the Raptors because the Raptors, I've been talking about how poor the center position has been for Toronto all year long. And Poeltl's been balling this year, actually. I know people out there don't really watch the Spurs. I know they're not,
they're not deserving.
They're not deserving of a watch, okay? But he's been playing really well this year. And look at the last 2 years, his numbers have gone up in like every category. And if you want to have a comparison, you look at Rudy Gobert in Minnesota. They have similar numbers. Gobert's making $30 million and has more minutes on the floor. So that's
more telling on Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, that's just something I'm giving these Raptors fans who do want him. He is probably going to be a good guy in terms of the center position. But yeah, overall, you're going to lose shooting, right? Like you mentioned, Noor. The Raptors aren't a good shooting team in general. So if you do move Gary Trent, I would rather get something back. So yes, make a deal. But yeah, this does not move the needle. No. This is not a move for any playoff, no play-in, no champion, nothing.
You go from the 11th seed to the 11th seed.
This is just really for a position of need center.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't see it. I know we have that space when it comes to the center position. You have to fill that. But at the same time, though, like, this is the Raptors built their franchise off of defense. If you want to bring Poeltl in for defense, we already got a little bit of that happening there. So I think that right now we're struggling defensively too, but that's only because the guys haven't bought into the defensive plan at all, right? Because they're capable of it. We've seen them in the years past. They can't defend properly. For me, it's just you're losing shooting. You're losing shooting, and you're gonna have someone. Yeah,
that's the name of the game.
You have 2 shooters right now. You've got Gary Trent and Fred VanVleet. So what? We're going to get rid of one to bring another 6'9" guy in who can't shoot either. And also he's going to clog the paint for Scotty, and Scotty's not going to be able to get in there. Maybe if you want Scotty to be more of a point guard, I guess, but I do like Scotty to be in a spot where he can do everything. And him being there is going to clog the paint. On top of that, already said he can't shoot. He's also a really bad free throw. He's 58% from the free throw line. No one on our team can hit free throws. Like, how is that going to
happen? That would be a big problem if you bring him in the door.
That's a massive thing. To me personally, I think if you're going to make a trade for a guy like that, what about Miles Turner? He's going to cost more. He's probably you're going to cost him a lot more to retain as well, because he's also going to be looking for a new contract. But he gives you that rim protection, but at the same time, he gives you spacing as well because he's solid from the three-point line, 40% shooter there. Let Scotty open up in the paint as well. And I don't know, for me, he's a better fit for this team.
I think it's just because the factor of we drafted Poeltl, we know who he is,
But
we
you
know what he
also
can
traded
provide.
him away though.
I know,
so-
but it
was for Kawhi, but like, yeah.
So
But,
now
like, what's the
they
point
needed
of-
another piece in that deal. So I think they didn't want to let him go. I think they felt like he has potential moving forward.
But if we're
so
going
they
to bring
might
him
wanna
back
in.
for this sentimental factor, let's not.
I
Let's just
feel
not,
that
you
plays
know,
a role
I-
here. I do.
I don't
And he's
care.
playing better too.
Let's also not forget this factor. The Lakers are also interested in Poeltl too. And after they got Ryu Hachimura, right? Now the pressure's gonna be on them to make another move. And could they be offering those 2 first-round picks?
It's not just the Lakers, too. It's
know.
Boston, Pelicans,
Mm-hmm.
Portland. There's a couple of teams lined up who could use some defensive rim protection on their team. And Poeltl obviously is the best guy for that. My only thing is a team that lacks defense could use him massively right now because they have a lot of offense. A team that lacks offense cannot use him right now because we need
We're in the basement.
we
in terms
need
of
yeah,
shooting
we just
percentage,
need
so,
shooting.
I don't know.
I'm not a fan of this. I know it sounds like the Raptors have inquired already. Bobby Webster, put the phone down. I know you're running the team right now, but I need you to put it away. Give the phone back to Mr. Masai. Let him handle the deals and everything. But I don't think Poeltl does any. If anything, I feel like he puts you in a position where maybe you're defending better, but you're not shooting. And we've seen this team's problem is shooting.
Definitely.
Time and
for
time and
sure.
time and time and time and time again.
And
time again, you know? But beyond that, we've also seen I guess OG's asking prices have somehow come to surface now. Per Doug Smith, actually, he says that the Raptors are looking for 2 promising players on team-friendly deals and at least 1 draft pick. And just now we saw news release that one mystery team offered 3 first-round picks for
mystery
OG
team.
Anunoby. First of all, who's this mystery team?
I think it's the Pacers.
The Pacers, the Pacers have been linked in for years,
you mentioned
man.
the Turner thing.
Yeah.
I think if you're talking Indiana, maybe Turner, Neesmith, and then like a pick or picks. Sorry.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're probably. I do think though this report, they're trying to. I think the Raptors leaked this.
Leaked out to drive the
help-
price up.
Yeah, hype
To
you
get
know,
that
just to
Donovan
hype him up,
Mitchell-like
just to hype him up a bit
package
more.
for OG,
Yeah, I think they're
right?
trying to hype him up, try to get more, make sure that other teams are like, oh snap, we gotta give the Raptors more. Let's do it, right? But there are plenty of options here. I'm looking at a couple of teams. Okay, so I'll give you these to you.
Ooh.
New Orleans, right?
Yeah.
I think New
Obviously.
Orleans could really use OG's defense, right? We know who they have already,
Absolutely.
but
And
they
they've
could
got
use
picks.
Yeah. So maybe something where it's like if we move OG, they give us Graham, Hayes, maybe a guy like Dyson Daniels. They don't
Yeah.
want to give him up, but Dyson Daniels
Yeah.
he's a good piece and maybe a pick or something like that. Detroit, Sadiq Bey,
Yeah.
Killian Hayes. He's very raw. He's been pretty
And
disappointing.
Dwayne
since getting
Casey
in.
knows OG too.
Yeah, he's been pretty disappointing, but you never know.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe Hayes, Bay, and the pick from the Bogdanovich deal, possibly. We mentioned Indiana, so there are teams out there that I'm looking at could make a move for OG. Maybe even Phoenix as
Mm-hmm.
well. You know that wouldn't be. You wouldn't get younger guys that move the
I
needle.
think-
That's probably
yeah.
like a Crowder, a Cam Johnston, and a pick.
If you can get Cam Johnson, I think that'd be a great move for the Raptors.
But those are the things I'm
Yeah.
looking at. I really prefer it to be that New Orleans thing, though. Get some guys from that bench because they're kind of deep right
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
right? in the West.
100%.
I think Memphis might be a good fit for him. A guy like Zaire
Can you
Williams.
imagine OG on the Memphis?
Yeah, no, I guess
Doing the gritties.
OG style doesn't fit in Memphis, but
No.
Yeah.
they need a guy on the wing like that
They
can
do.
play defense and then make some shots. Zaire Williams is a young player. They still got a bunch of picks, so and they're in that contender role where they might
You
want to
never
make
know.
a
In
move,
that
right?
deal, I think Brooks would have to come as well.
You think so?
I think so.
Hey,
And
I mean,
that-
Dylan Brooks
I
could
think
fit perfectly
Brooks- yeah, I
here.
think Brooks would have to
Brandon
come
Clark
in.
too, potentially
Or, yeah,
another
something
Canadian
like
like
that.
that.
You
So
think Brooks in Toronto?
I think Brooks, because he mentions
Zaire Williamson,
I think
Brandon Clark.
in that deal, probably you might see a Dylan Brooks in
yeah.
that deal.
So I mean, hey,
Might.
I
could
might
happen.
have to hang up my boots at that point. I'm so sorry.
What do you mean a
Raptors.
Canadian
Maybe
comes back to
Toronto.
Canada? Isn't that the whole
Yeah,
thing?
that's a different Canadian. They'd rather have Shea back. Let's make it. If you want to bring a Canadian back, why not Shea, Messiah?
Shea to
Get at
Toronto
it.
2027.
No, not
2027?
happening. Not happening. Not happening.
We're gonna circle back in 4
Let's do
years,
it,
sorry,
let's do it.
5 years, and see if we're gonna get
Yeah,
Shea
no,
back. And
let's
if
do it, Shea.
not,
Let's
Jelani,
go.
you're gonna be on the
No
spot.
chance.
Your
No
head
chance.
on
Let's
a
go, bro.
spike, I swear to God.
You know already, man.
All right, tomorrow night the Raptors start their 7-game away stretch
Oh,
against
no.
the Kings at 10
Oh,
p.m.
no. Like the beat.
Like, shut up.
Exactly.
They're balling right now. They're third in the Western Conference. Sabonis, my guy, who I wanted
Fox.
you guys to draft. And I wanted y'all to
Don't
draft
forget,
this
hey,
man.
De'Aaron Fox
and
been playing-
De'Aaron Fox. So yeah, they're balling right now.
Thanks a lot. I said that too. I said Darren Fox.
Oh, did you?
Yes, I did, Justin.
I couldn't overhear you because Jelani was talking so loud.
It's all good. Don't worry about it. But yep, it starts tomorrow night. Right after that, they have a bunch of Western Conference superstars to be going up against, and they make their way back home right before the trade deadline on February 9th. So let's see who's still a Raptor, and let's see who gets their predictions right about this next 7-game stretch. And we'll see you next time on Homestand NBA.